you're a truck driver for a really good long time. You went on multiple deployments. Was there a lot of combat on those deployments? Did you ever have to get out of the truck and?
No, I did not. I've been very, very, very blessed in the fact that I was never blown up by an IED. Although we had vehicles that were. I was lucky enough to be someone that wasn't. I never had to fire. Never discharged around in combat. Absolutely blessed because there's enough things out there weighing on our souls that's not something I needed, right?
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of guys in my units were not that lucky. My brother being one. A lot of my best friends have been through some stuff I don't want to see, to be honest. It was a relatively easy set of deployments, more chaos and internal chaos than anything. So
absolutely,
I got lucky there.
We're all lucky if the hardest thing we do is being away from our family for any extended period of time. If that's what it is, and that's what a lot of deployments are for a lot of folks. I think a lot of people get I think the reason numbers are down is I'm going to be the person that's deployed. I'm going to be the guy on the front line. It's only 10 to 20% of the Army is infantry. It's like everything else is support. So there's plenty of jobs in the military that do not require stand up combat. I mean, is there always the risk? Absolutely, but
we went during a time because if you think about it, from 03 to. And I guess even right now, you just hear, but IEDs were like the thing, right? So there was a time when, there was the average lifespan of a truck driver overseas is a week or something, right? It was bad. I mean, for whatever reason, big man upstairs blessed me and said, that ain't your path. So
absolutely.
We were there when it was all nasty, but we got lucky enough to not have to deal with it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you were a truck driver. So how long would you say you were doing that MOS before you decided to pull the trigger and go the officer route or attempt OCS?
So I went to OCS primarily out of anger towards the Army, actually. So I'm sure you have all heard it, and anyone that's military listening right now has probably heard it. We don't have the funding to send you to school. So I went from an E1, so I enlisted as an E-Fuzzy. And I got to E6 in 6 years, which was the fastest you could possibly do it. I got E5 in 4 years. I did my 2 years there, and I got my E6. I was on the fast track. Right? I mean, there was lots of people that I grew up with that were still 2 ranks below me when I picked up my 6s. And then it just fell off a cliff, and it was this constant. We don't have the money to send you to ALC. We don't have the money. There's no slots. And so we finally, when we went to Afghanistan. I think it was Afghanistan. Kuwait. We went to Kuwait in 2017. And they basically told us a year before that deployment, they refused to send us to schools. The state had money, but they were like, nope, when you get overseas, they're going to send you back for your month of ALC. So you'll get there, you'll check in, you'll start doing your job. The active duty will pay for you to come home and go to ALC. And that way everyone in the company will get it. So they blocked off all the schools for us, and they gave it to people that weren't deploying. So we get overseas, a new battalion comes in and says, absolutely not. Y'all are National Guard. You can go home and go to school on your own time. We're not going to send you home from a deployment to go to ALC. So I got shut out of schools for, it may even been 18 months, for a long time before the deployment because we were supposed to get it then. And we get deployed, and they say no. And so it's just this, and then we come home, and they're like, oh, we don't have money again. So it just kind of got to be you could see the pattern, right? It's kind of a constant pain in the rear. They finally got us slotted for schools, and there was one of us a month for 6 months, I think. And my date was something like 3 days before my first child was supposed to be born, was my report date. So my son was supposed to be born May 21st. And I was supposed to leave May 18th to go to school. And so I went to the leadership, and I was like, this is not good. And they'd already let some other people swap dates. And I was like, hey, me and someone else has agreed to swap dates. It'll get me gone and back home within, well in time. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to allow that anymore. So I was like, all right, I'm fed up. So I just talked with the commander. He was a super good dude, had become a friend of mine. And I just told him, look, I'm tired of the BS. It kind of got to the point where, I want to get out of the Guard. And he basically was like, man, you need to consider OCS because what you bring to the table and the way you think and problem solve, he's like, we really need more officers. Have you considered OCS? I was like, well, no, I haven't. And that was in 2000, I guess 17. Like we'd gotten back from deployment, and by that April or whatever of 18, I was at OCS.
Okay.
And so I kind of went there as a way to prevent myself from having to get out of the Guard.
Gotcha. Okay.